Welcome to Ortho Eval Pal, where we help you build confidence in your orthopedic evaluation and management skills.
Hi, my name is Paul and this is Don. Don is 67 years old and about 2 months ago fell. It was off of kind of a platform, correct?
Yes.
And onto the ice.
Yes.
And had a mechanism where his arm went up like this and had a hyperflexion type of injury to the right shoulder. Had a severe amount of discomfort at the time, dislocated his shoulder, and after that had a significant disability from this injury. So he had an MRI to show that he has a massive rotator cuff tear, subscapularis, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, and his biceps has dislocated out of the groove and is sitting medially to the bicipital groove. So we wanted to talk a little bit about how this is presenting and where do we go and how do we treat this at this point. He also has some cardiac issues and is awaiting the green light from his cardiologist so that he can have surgery for his shoulder. So Don, the first thing I'm going to mention is take a look at his shoulder here, and if you come right around this way, you'll notice that he has a lot of atrophy in the supraspinatus fossa right here and the infraspinatus fossa right in here. And so this has only been 2 months, and you can see how much atrophy he has right there. So I'm going to ask you, Don, to try to lift that arm straight up in front of you like this, and we'll see how much motion he has. Alright, so maybe 10 degrees. Notice that the humeral head goes up because the rotator cuff is not able to hold it down in place, and the deltoids are taking over and driving the humeral head superiorly. Can I have you try to lift the arm out to the side? Not a lot of motion there. Another sign that he has a massive rotator cuff tear. Now, with a dislocation like he had, there's always the possibility that he could have torn his or injured his axillary nerve, shutting down all of his deltoids. So he had an EMG study done to find that that was in good shape. You'll also notice he has a little bit of bruising here on the outside of his arm, right there. That's not uncommon, especially with biceps injuries. So the other thing I want to do is I want to check his internal and external rotation. I'm going to have you hold that arm right there. And notice how the hand dropped inward a little bit. That's a sign that the external rotators aren't holding very well. Now don't let me push you inward. And he offers near nothing. I'm going to have you pull it in toward your belly. Subscapularis. I'm going to have you hold it right there. Don't let me pull it away from your belly. And I'm really able to easily break him. Can you put your hand in front of your chest just like this? And keep it tight right there, and don't let me pull it away from your chest. This is called the bear hug test. Hold tight, don't let me pull it away. And he offers near nothing. So we know that his subscapularis is not functioning very well. His rotator cuff is not elevating the arm. He has a lot of weakness, internal and external rotation. So what do we do at this point? He's going to need to have some strong deltoids because he's going to be receiving a reverse total shoulder replacement because his rotator cuff is so massively torn, they're not going to be able to fix it. They're going to do a reverse total shoulder so the deltoids can help mechanically get that arm elevated a little bit more. Don does what for work?
Building construction.
Building construction. And how, if you were to put a percentage on how much you are disabled by this injury right now, how much would you say it is?
Probably 90%.
About 90%. Okay, so that's pretty significant. So Don needs to be able to get this arm moving and at least be in a functional range here. One of the other things we want to take into consideration is his passive range of motion. So I'm going to elevate that arm, and is that starting to hurt?
Yep.
What I'm getting here is a significant amount of capsular restriction. So he is really starting to bind down quite a bit. I'm going to abduct him. And when I get to about here, his scapula starts to come out. I'm going to internally rotate him. He doesn't like that either. And we're going to bring this arm down by his side. We're going to externally rotate him, and he starts to get really tight there. So with a massive cuff tear, I should really be able to move him all over the place. But what's happening is he's starting to develop an adhesive capsulitis. So we want to start to treat him to try to loosen up the glenohumeral joint, prevent the adhesive capsulitis, and start to activate his deltoids. Probably not against gravity, but get him onto a table, onto a stomach, put his arm down by the edge of the table, and start to work his deltoids in this gravity eliminated position so we can start to activate that. The other thing we want to do is build some scapular stability. He's very weak around the scapula because he's not using this arm, so we're going to do a lot of scapular retraction type activities, may even do a little bit of electrical stimulation or taping to help stabilize the scapula, and he may be able to get his deltoids to work a little bit better. We'll also work on the biceps very gently, triceps very gently, and thoracic kyphosis reduction type activities until he can have surgery. So we'll probably treat him in therapy to try to gain some motion first, and then ultimately put him on an exercise program until the time of surgery. Thank you.
We hope you've enjoyed this video, and for more awesome content, go to orthoevalpal.com. Can't wait to see you there.